The human ship drifted through the violet skies of Vera, its engines humming softly. Aaron watched through the window as the vast alien city stretched below him. Towers of shimmering metal rose like mountains, their surfaces reflecting the strange light of three suns. The air itself seemed alive with color and movement, and the streets pulsed with creatures Aaron had never seen before. His heart raced with both awe and unease. This was the world of the Vera, a species known for wisdom, power, and their unmatched skill in interstellar diplomacy. Today, he would meet the Queen herself. Aaron adjusted his uniform. It was simple and human, yet it carried the dignity expected of a representative of Earth. Beside him, his small team remained silent. Each of them was trained for negotiations, but none could hide the tension that filled the room. They had heard stories of the Queen. She was not only the ruler of her people but a strategist whose judgment had shaped countless alliances. To refuse her could mean disaster. The landing platform shone with a soft golden light as the ship descended. A group of Vera greeted them. They were tall and graceful, with elongated limbs and smooth, iridescent skin. Their eyes shimmered with deep intelligence. One stepped forward and bowed slightly, motioning for Aaron and his team to follow. The hallway leading to the throne room was wide and polished, the walls alive with floating symbols that pulsed with soft light. The symbols seemed to react to the humans' presence, changing color as they moved past. Aaron could feel the weight of centuries of history in every stone, in every shadow. The Vera had built a civilization unlike anything humans had ever seen, and now he was walking into its heart. When the massive doors opened, the throne room revealed itself in all its glory. It was larger than any human hall, with a ceiling so high that the lights above seemed distant stars. At the far end, sitting on a throne of crystal and metal, was the Queen. Her presence filled the room like a force of nature. She was tall, even for a Vera, and her skin shimmered with a silver glow under the lights. Her eyes met Aaron's immediately, sharp and curious. There was power in her gaze, but also an unexpected softness that made her presence feel alive rather than cold. She spoke, and her voice carried like music and authority combined. "Welcome, human. I am Queen Solara of the Vera. You come seeking words with me. Speak freely." Aaron stepped forward and bowed as best as a human could. "Your Majesty, I am Aaron, envoy of Earth. I come in peace and with respect. Our worlds have long watched one another. Today, I hope to build a bridge of understanding between our peoples." The Queen studied him for a long moment, her eyes piercing and unwavering. Then she spoke again, her tone shifting from formal to personal. "Aaron, you do not understand why I have called you here. It is not words or treaties I seek. It is you." A hush fell over the room. Aaron's team exchanged nervous glances, but he kept his composure. He had faced many challenges before, but this was unlike anything he had imagined. "Your Majesty, I am honored, but I do not understand." "What do you mean?" The Queen's gaze softened slightly. "You are to speak with my daughter, Princess Lyra. She will be part of a bond that could unite our worlds. It is a choice, but also a responsibility. I expect you to accept her, for the future of both our peoples." Aaron felt his stomach tighten. The room seemed to tilt around him. He had anticipated discussions about trade, technology, and diplomacy, but never a personal proposal. The idea that a human could be asked to bond with an alien royal was beyond anything he had trained for. Yet the Queen spoke with calm certainty, as if this decision were obvious and unchallengeable. He straightened, looking at the Queen with steady eyes. "Your Majesty, I understand the honor you propose, but a bond of this nature cannot be forced. Trust and choice must guide such a connection, not obligation. I cannot accept your daughter simply because it is expected. A silence filled the throne room. The queen's eyes widened slightly, but her voice remained calm. You dare refuse me? She asked. Her tone was more curiosity than anger. She had expected fear, flattery, or hesitation, yet here was a human speaking without fear, with honesty and strength. Yes, Aaron said firmly. I respect your daughter, and I respect your people, but a union must be chosen freely. To accept it under command would weaken both of our worlds, not strengthen them. The queen studied him with an intensity that made Aaron feel as if she were searching his very soul. He did not flinch. He could see the faintest trace of surprise in her expression. Many before him had bowed without question, yet here was a human who spoke with reason, courage, and clarity. Princess Lyra entered the room silently, her presence graceful and commanding. She had watched the exchange with quiet interest. Her eyes, a soft shade of blue unlike the shimmering silver of her mother, fixed on Aaron. She could sense that his words were sincere. Unlike the others who had come before, he was not afraid, he did not seek to flatter, and he did not yield to authority blindly. Queen Solara spoke again, her voice softening. Aaron, your answer shocks me, but it also intrigues me. Few have ever spoken truth to me in such a way. Few have dared to challenge the certainty of my will. Aaron bowed again, though his eyes never left hers. Your Majesty, it is not challenge I offer, but honesty. I believe it is the strongest path for both our peoples. Only through choice can trust truly grow. The queen leaned back slightly, as if considering the weight of his words. Aaron could feel the tension in the room, the quiet expectation. The Veyra had never been denied in such a manner. His refusal could have ended his mission before it began. Yet here, in this moment, he realized that sometimes courage was not in action, but in speaking the truth. Princess Lyra moved closer to Aaron, her gaze filled with curiosity. You are not afraid, she said softly, almost to herself. You speak with your own mind, not your orders. Aaron nodded. I am here to represent humans, but I am also here to speak what is right. Fear has no place in understanding. Queen Solara finally smiled, a small but genuine curve of her lips. Perhaps this meeting will be remembered for more than a union proposal. Perhaps it will mark the beginning of a new understanding. Aaron felt a small spark of hope. He had not expected to impress the queen or her daughter, but he had spoken his truth. In that moment, he understood that this meeting was only the beginning. The journey ahead would be difficult, and the tests would be greater than anything he had faced before, but for the first time, he sensed that humans might not only survive in this alien world, but also earn its respect. The hall was silent now, filled with quiet energy. The humans, the Veyra, the queen, and the princess all waited for the next words to shape the future. And Aaron knew that what he said next would matter far more than he could imagine. After the tense exchange in the throne room, Aaron found himself escorted to a smaller chamber adjacent to the main hall. The walls glowed with soft light, revealing intricate designs that seemed to tell stories without words. The air felt alive, carrying a faint hum that resonated through the room. Aaron's mind raced as he tried to understand what had just happened. Refusing the queen's proposal was unheard of, and yet, he had done it with honesty. He did not regret his words, but he wondered how the Veyra would respond next. Princess Lyra entered quietly, her movements elegant and precise. She paused near the window, looking out at the sprawling city below. You speak with courage, she said softly, her voice calm yet curious. Most humans would bend or hide behind fear. You do not. Aaron bowed his head respectfully. Thank you, Princess. I do not wish to offend you or your mother. I only speak what I believe is right. A bond cannot be forced. It must come from choice and understanding. Lyra turned to face him fully. Her eyes shone with intelligence and curiosity. You are very different from what I expected. I thought humans were easily swayed, weak in the face of power. You are not. That surprises me. Aaron smiled faintly. We are not all the same. Some follow blindly, but others must think for themselves. I hope your mother understands that my refusal is not disrespect. It is a matter of principle. The princess studied him for a long moment. She seemed to be measuring not just his words but the essence of his being. Finally, she spoke again. Your words are honest, and your spirit is strong. But honesty alone may not be enough here. My mother is not easily impressed. Why did you choose to speak so boldly? Aaron considered her question carefully. Because truth carries weight. Fear and flattery may achieve temporary results, but lasting respect comes from understanding and courage. If we are to build a future between our worlds, we must begin with truth, not obedience. Lyra stepped closer, her gaze fixed on him. And yet, humans are small in the galaxy. Many would say it is foolish to oppose a queen of the Vera. You risk more than just words. Why do you care so much about principle? Aaron's mind turned to the stories of humanity he had grown up with. Tales of explorers, inventors, and leaders who had stood for what was right even when the odds were against them. He spoke with quiet conviction. Because the smallest voice can make a difference. History remembers those who choose right over comfort. My actions may seem insignificant, but they represent something larger. Humans have survived by thinking, learning, and choosing courage over fear. I act for the sake of that spirit. Lyra's eyes widened slightly, and a faint smile appeared on her face. Your words are strange to me. You speak like one who knows the weight of life and responsibility. Few humans seem aware of such things. You are different. Aaron shook his head. Not different, just aware. Awareness comes with experience and willingness to see beyond immediate consequences. I cannot act against what I believe, no matter who asks. That is my way. The princess looked out the window again, her expression thoughtful. The city below shimmered under the light of the three suns. Flying vehicles moved like silver fish through the air, and enormous gardens floated between the towers. The Vera had created beauty and order on a scale that humans could barely imagine. Lyra spoke without turning. I have lived my entire life under the expectations of my mother. Everyone expects obedience. Few ever speak freely to her. You have done so without hesitation. That is, unusual. Aaron's gaze followed hers to the city below. I understand the weight of expectations. I have faced my own. But I believe that the courage to speak truth is more valuable than pleasing others. If we act only to satisfy expectations, we lose the chance to build something meaningful. The princess turned to him, her eyes reflecting both curiosity and admiration. You risk much to hold your ground. What happens if my mother does not understand? Aaron met her gaze steadily. Then we face the consequences together. I have no desire to harm your people or my own. I only seek to act rightly. If that creates tension, we must find a way to resolve it. Respect and honesty will guide the way, not fear or power. Lyra's expression softened. She studied him closely, as if seeing something new within humans for the first time. Perhaps your people are more than I imagined. I have watched humans from afar and expected weakness or submission. But you are not what I expected. You may be the first human to truly understand what it means to respect another being without yielding entirely. Aaron felt a faint warmth of pride, but he remained cautious. Understanding takes time, Princess. One conversation does not create trust, but it can start it. I hope this is a beginning for our peoples, not just for us. The princess walked to a large table in the center of the room. Ancient instruments and objects lay scattered across its surface, glowing faintly with unknown energy. She touched one, and it hummed in response. My mother believes that union brings strength. She believes that power is gained through control. But perhaps she has never faced one who refuses without fear. Perhaps she will see the value in choice if she witnesses your courage. Aaron nodded slowly. It is not for me to change her mind. I only speak what is right. The rest is for your people to decide. That is how respect works. It is not forced, it is earned. Lyra's gaze softened further, and for the first time, Aaron saw vulnerability in her eyes. Few dare to speak this way. I wonder if your people would survive long in the galaxy if everyone acted as boldly as you. Perhaps your strength comes from more than courage alone. Perhaps it comes from understanding the value of freedom. Aaron smiled faintly. Freedom and responsibility are connected. To act freely without understanding is dangerous. To act wisely is strength. That is the way humans survive, and perhaps why some of us have the courage to speak truth even to a queen. The princess nodded, almost in approval. I will remember your words, human. They are unusual and inspiring. My mother may not understand yet, but she will see the truth in time. Perhaps this meeting is the beginning of something greater than we know. Aaron bowed respectfully. I hope so, Princess. My only wish is for peace, respect, and understanding between our worlds. I will continue to act as an envoy with honesty, no matter the challenges ahead. For a long moment, the room was silent. The soft hum of the Vera city outside seemed distant now, as if the world itself paused to witness this meeting. Then Lyra spoke once more, her tone thoughtful and firm. Very well, human. You have given me much to consider. I will return to my mother with your words. Perhaps your courage will spark something neither of us can yet imagine. Aaron felt a faint relief. The princess's respect was important, for she would influence the queen's judgment. He knew the path ahead would be difficult, filled with tests and challenges he could not yet foresee. But for now, he had spoken truth. He had refused without fear, and he had gained the attention and respect of someone who mattered greatly. As Aaron and his team left the chamber, he glanced back at Princess Lyra. Her eyes met his briefly, filled with a mixture of curiosity, caution, and something he could not name. He knew that their encounter was only the beginning. The real journey was about to begin, and he would need all his courage, wisdom, and humanity to face what lay ahead. The next morning, Aaron was escorted from the palace to a high observation deck overlooking the Vera world. From this height, the landscape stretched endlessly. Towering crystal mountains glimmered under the light of 3 suns. Rivers of liquid light wound through lush forests, reflecting colors that Aaron could not name. Floating islands drifted above the terrain, connected by narrow bridges of energy. The world was alive, vibrant, and unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Princess Lyra walked beside him, her presence calm and assured. This is where our history lives, she said. Every mountain, every river, every floating island has meaning. We Vera honor the land and its past. It shapes us as much as we shape it. Aaron nodded, his eyes wide with wonder. It is breathtaking. I have seen many worlds, but nothing like this. Your people have built something extraordinary, yet it feels as if the world itself is alive. Lyra smiled faintly. You are not mistaken. Many humans see only structures and technology. You see life. That is rare. They walked along the edge of the observation deck until they reached a hovering vehicle. The craft shimmered as it prepared to take them across the land. Inside, Aaron could feel the energy of the world humming beneath him. The vehicle lifted silently, gliding over forests and rivers of light. Below them, enormous creatures moved gracefully, their forms elegant and strange, blending seamlessly with the landscape. Are they dangerous? Aaron asked, pointing toward a group of creatures with long, crystalline wings. Not unless threatened, Lyra replied. They sense intentions. If you act with respect, they will not harm you. Our world teaches us balance. Life exists not to dominate, but to coexist. The vehicle descended near a large valley filled with ruins. Aaron recognized them immediately as something ancient, yet unlike any human construction. Massive pillars of unknown metal rose from the ground. Some pillars were cracked, others entirely intact. Symbols were carved into the walls of stone and metal, glowing faintly as if powered by some hidden energy. These ruins are older than any memory we keep, Lyra said. They were built long before even the first Vera. We call this place the Hall of Ancients. Few outsiders have seen it. My mother allowed you because she wishes to test your understanding, not just your courage. Aaron stepped carefully onto the ground. The air here felt different, charged with energy that made his skin tingle. He ran his hand over one of the carved symbols. It pulsed lightly under his touch. These symbols, they feel alive, he said. What do they mean? Lyra's gaze softened. They tell stories. Wars, discoveries, and wisdom of those who came before. They were not meant only to record history, but to guide those who follow. You must look carefully. Not everything is revealed at once. They walked deeper into the valley. Massive doors loomed ahead, embedded in a mountain of glimmering crystal. Lyra placed her hand on a smooth panel beside the door. The symbols shifted and glowed brighter. With a low hum, the doors slowly opened, revealing a vast chamber inside. The chamber was enormous, stretching as far as Aaron could see. Light filtered from the ceiling, illuminating platforms, pillars, and devices that seemed far beyond human technology. In the center stood a pedestal with an object that looked like a glowing orb. It radiated a calm, steady light. This is the heart of the ancients, Lyra explained. It holds knowledge, energy, and guidance for those who are worthy. Many have come seeking it, but few are ready. Your people have not encountered anything like this before. Aaron stepped forward, his heart pounding. It is beautiful. I feel something inside me, as if it is speaking without words. Lyra nodded. You feel the energy of understanding. The ancients do not give knowledge freely. They require recognition of responsibility. To take anything from here without understanding would bring disaster. That is why my mother tests outsiders carefully. She wants to know if you are prepared to act wisely, not just bravely. Aaron's gaze drifted across the chamber. Platforms hovered in the air, each inscribed with glowing symbols. He realized that the orb was connected to every platform through thin, bright threads of light. The energy in the chamber pulsed gently, as if breathing. Are humans expected to survive this test? He asked. Some do, Lyra said softly. But few. The chamber shows not just the present, but the consequences of choices. It tests mind, heart, and spirit. Courage alone is not enough. Wisdom and restraint are needed. My mother wants to see if you possess all three. Aaron looked at the orb again. A sense of calm came over him, but also a weight. He realized that his actions, words, and decisions here would matter not only for himself but also for both their peoples. He had refused the Queen's proposal with honesty, but now he faced a deeper challenge. This was not about words. This was about proving the truth of his spirit. Lyra observed him quietly, noting how he studied every detail, every symbol, every movement in the chamber. "You are careful," she said. "Many humans rush forward, seeking glory. You do not. That may serve you well here. The ancients reward patience as much as courage." Aaron nodded slowly. "I understand. I will not act without thought. I want to prove that humans can understand, not just act." Lyra stepped aside and motioned toward a platform. "Begin, if you wish. Let the chamber speak to you. But remember, it tests not only your mind, but your choices. Every step matters." Aaron took a deep breath and stepped onto the platform. Immediately, the light of the orb intensified. Symbols floated around him, forming patterns and shapes that he could not fully comprehend. Images appeared in his mind: battles, disasters, sacrifices, and discoveries from times long before humans had existed. He realized the chamber was showing him lessons from history. It was teaching him, not just asking him to act. Hours seemed to pass as Aaron moved from platform to platform. Each test revealed a different aspect of responsibility: decision, restraint, understanding, and courage. He was faced with illusions of threats, betrayals, and impossible choices. Yet he did not panic. He reasoned through each situation, balancing caution with action, humility with confidence. Lyra watched silently, her eyes filled with quiet admiration. She had not seen a human approach the chamber in this way. Most would have fled in fear or sought shortcuts. Aaron faced the challenges with patience, thought, and respect. Finally, he reached the center again, where the orb floated calmly. Its light seemed warmer, welcoming. He placed his hands gently on it. Energy flowed through him, not overwhelming but enlightening. The chamber's illusions faded, leaving only clarity and understanding. Lyra stepped forward and smiled. "You have done what few outsiders can. The chamber has accepted you. You understand not just the test, but the responsibility that comes with knowledge and power. Your actions reflect what your words promised." Aaron stepped back, breathing heavily but feeling a calm strength inside him. "I did not do this for glory or approval. I did it because it is right. If our peoples are to coexist, understanding must guide every choice." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Then perhaps your people are ready to be more than observers. Perhaps humans can become allies in ways I never imagined. This is only the beginning, but you have shown the spirit of one who can truly understand." Aaron nodded. He felt the weight of what lay ahead, but also the hope. He had proven himself not just to the Vera, but to the ancients who had left these lessons behind. The journey was far from over, but for the first time, he believed that humans could earn the respect and trust of a world unlike any other. The chamber's calm energy still lingered in Aaron's mind as he followed Princess Lyra out of the Hall of Ancients. Sunlight from the three suns spilled into the valley, glinting off crystal pillars and floating islands above. Aaron could still feel the orb's energy in his hands, a subtle hum that reminded him of the lessons he had learned. He felt stronger, wiser, but he also sensed that his journey was far from over. Not all who enter the hall are ready to leave unchanged, Lyra said softly. There are others who watch, guardians who ensure the knowledge is respected. You will meet them soon. Aaron looked at her, curious. Guardians. Are they alive? Lyra smiled faintly. Some would call them alive, but they are more than creatures. They are machines created by the ancients, designed to protect knowledge and test those who seek it. They do not harm without reason, but they see truth and intention clearly. You must show respect, or you may face challenges you are not prepared for. Aaron nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. He had already faced the chamber, but now he realized that the world itself would continue to test him. Humans often relied on strength or quick thinking, but here, patience, wisdom, and awareness were equally important. They walked through a narrow corridor carved into the mountainside. Light pulsed along the walls, guiding their path like a living map. Aaron noticed subtle movements in the shadows. Machines, sleek and angular, blended into the environment. They had no faces, only smooth surfaces and glowing eyes, yet their presence was unmistakable. They followed silently, observing every step, every gesture. Do they understand human language? Aaron asked, his voice low. Not in the way you think, Lyra replied. They do not speak, but they sense intent. They can detect hesitation, dishonesty, and fear. They judge not by words, but by actions. Every choice you make is visible to them. Aaron felt a shiver run down his spine. He had faced many tests in his life, but this was different. The Watchers were not merely obstacles, they were observers of character, measuring the depth of his spirit. He took a steadying breath and reminded himself to act with care. Courage alone would not carry him through. The corridor opened into a vast chamber unlike the Hall of Ancients. It was darker, but light glowed faintly from floating symbols etched into the walls. The air hummed with energy, and the temperature seemed cooler, more deliberate. The Watchers were here in greater numbers, their forms sleek and silent. They shifted as Aaron approached, moving with precision and grace. One stepped forward. Its eyes glowed brighter as it studied him. Aaron stopped, holding his hand slightly out in a gesture of respect. The machine tilted its head, as if acknowledging his presence. Lyra spoke softly. They will test you now. The Watchers do not speak, but they will create scenarios that reflect your choices. Do not fear them. Treat them with respect, and you will learn from the test. Act carelessly, and the consequences may be severe. Aaron nodded. He had come this far because of careful thought and respect. He would not falter now. Suddenly, the chamber shifted. Holographic projections appeared around him, showing images of crises and conflict. Entire cities appeared in flames, and human and alien figures struggled to survive. Aaron realized the Watchers were showing him possible outcomes of decisions. His task was to act wisely, to find solutions without causing harm. The first scenario involved a village under attack by strange creatures. Aaron had to guide the people to safety without direct confrontation. He used strategy, observation, and careful timing. The villagers moved to safety, and the projection dissolved, replaced by another. Next came a challenge of trust. Two alien leaders were in conflict, and Aaron had to mediate without imposing his will. He listened to both sides, finding common ground through understanding and logic. Again, the scenario vanished, leaving him standing in the quiet chamber. The watchers observed silently, their glowing eyes following every decision. Aaron felt their presence like a constant weight, yet it did not frighten him. He understood that they were not enemies, they were teachers. They measured his capacity to act with wisdom, to balance courage with patience. Hours passed as the scenarios continued. Some tested strategy, others tested morality. In one, a human crew faced a choice between saving resources or helping a stranded alien species. Aaron chose compassion, risking the mission but preserving life. The Watcher's lights shifted, signaling approval. Finally, a projection showed the Queen herself. The scene presented a scenario where her judgment could bring disaster if not handled with care. Aaron realized that his refusal of her initial proposal had been a test in its own right. He had chosen honesty over fear, and now he must prove that he could act wisely in situations that affected both their peoples. He approached the projection carefully, speaking words of respect and clarity. Every decision must honor both our peoples. We cannot act in haste or fear. We must consider consequences and act with understanding. Only then can peace endure. The chamber grew quiet. The watchers stepped back, their glowing eyes dimming slightly. Lyra approached, her expression filled with quiet admiration. You have done well, human. Few have completed this test without error or hesitation. You have proven your wisdom, your patience, and your courage. The watchers recognize your spirit. Aaron exhaled slowly. Relief washed over him, but he knew that this was not the end. The watchers had tested him, but the Queen's expectations remained. His refusal had set a path that now required continued demonstration of character. Every action, every choice would be observed, not only by the Vera but by the guardians who protected their world. Lyra led him to a balcony overlooking the valley. The watchers returned to their silent stations, blending into the walls and shadows. Below, the world stretched endlessly, vibrant and alive. Aaron felt a sense of connection, as if he understood a fraction of the wisdom that had guided the civilization for centuries. Your people will be surprised by what you have learned here, Lyra said. Most humans would flee or fail. You have shown that courage alone is not enough. Understanding, patience, and respect are equally important. Remember this lesson, for it will guide you in the challenges to come. Aaron nodded, gazing at the vibrant landscape. I understand. The lessons are not just for me. They are for all humans who wish to walk among your people. We must learn, not just act. We must respect, not just survive. Lyra smiled, a faint trace of admiration in her eyes. Perhaps your people are capable of more than I imagined. This is only the beginning, but you have taken a step that few outsiders ever take. The watchers have seen your spirit. My mother will notice as well. Aaron felt a sense of calm determination. The path ahead remained uncertain, but he now understood that respect, honesty, and courage were his greatest tools. The watchers had tested him, the chamber had challenged him, and he had emerged stronger. Whatever awaited him with the Queen or the Vera world, he knew he could face it with integrity. As the suns began to set over the Crystal Mountains, casting long shadows across the valley, Aaron and Lyra prepared to return to the palace. The watchers returned to their silent vigilance, their glowing eyes dimming but never closing. Aaron realized that every step in this world would be observed, every choice noted, yet he felt ready. He had faced tests that measured more than strength or intelligence, they measured character. Aaron returned to the palace under the soft light of the three suns, the lessons of the watchers still echoing in his mind. He had faced the tests with patience, wisdom, and respect, Yet Princess Lyra's words reminded him that the true challenge lay ahead. The queen had not yet spoken of the final trial, the one that would reveal whether Aaron could truly understand the weight of choice, responsibility, and the future of two worlds. As they entered the throne room, Queen Solyra's presence filled the space immediately. She sat in her crystal chair, observing Aaron with sharp, calculating eyes. The room was quiet, the air heavy with expectation. Aaron approached slowly, bowing respectfully. "You have done well," the queen said, her voice calm but commanding. "You faced the Hall of Ancients and the Watchers. Few outsiders accomplish what you have achieved. Yet, your journey is not complete. There is a final trial, one that will test your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Are you prepared?" Aaron straightened, meeting her gaze. "I am ready, Your Majesty. I will face whatever is required with honesty and respect." The queen nodded and gestured toward a large portal at the far end of the hall. Symbols glowed on its surface, shifting and pulsating as if alive. "This portal leads to the Chamber of Truth. There, you will confront visions of possible futures. You will face choices that affect not only yourself but the fate of many. Your responses will determine whether humanity can truly be trusted with the knowledge of the ancients and the bond between our peoples." Aaron swallowed. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on him. He had faced illusions and tests before, but this trial seemed different. It was not only about wisdom or courage, it was about foresight, ethics, and understanding the consequences of decisions. Princess Lyra stepped beside him. "The chamber shows more than reality," she said. "It shows what could be. Your mind will be tested. Your heart will be tested. But do not fear. Face it with integrity, and you will emerge stronger." Aaron nodded, taking a deep breath before stepping toward the portal. As he crossed the threshold, the air shifted. Colors swirled around him, and the floor seemed to vanish beneath his feet. He felt weightless, suspended in a space that was neither solid nor empty. Then, the first vision appeared. He stood on a battlefield. Two armies faced each other across a desolate plain. Humans were among them, and the Vaira as well. Chaos and fear filled the air. Aaron could sense panic, anger, and desperation. He understood instantly that his first challenge was to prevent conflict. He moved forward, speaking words of calm and reason to the leaders on both sides. His voice carried authority, clarity, and honesty. Slowly, tension eased, and the armies halted. Aaron realized that the chamber was showing him the power of diplomacy, the strength of understanding over aggression. The vision shifted. He was now in a laboratory where an experimental energy source threatened to explode. Scientists from both species were at risk, and their panic could trigger disaster. Aaron had to act quickly but wisely. He approached the controls, analyzing every option carefully. He did not rush, yet he acted decisively. With precise steps and clear thinking, he stabilized the energy, saving everyone. The vision faded. Next, Aaron found himself in a council chamber. Representatives of both humans and Vaira argued fiercely over territory and resources. Each side wanted control, yet neither would compromise. Aaron listened patiently, understanding the perspectives of both. Then he spoke, not to command, but to guide. He suggested solutions that balanced needs, respected rights, and maintained harmony. The arguments softened, and the representatives nodded, recognizing reason over pride. Hours seemed to pass as Aaron faced vision after vision. Some tested his courage, others tested his morality. One scenario showed a human settlement facing famine while Avera's city had abundance. Aaron had to choose how to distribute resources fairly. He considered long-term consequences, ensuring that aid preserved dignity, trust, and survival. Each decision left him more aware of the complexity of leadership and responsibility. Finally, the chamber presented a vision that made Aaron's heart tighten. Queen Solara herself appeared, standing before a vast crowd of Vera and humans. She looked disappointed, weary, and questioning. The vision showed what could happen if humans and Vera failed to understand each other, if alliances were broken, if pride and fear prevailed. Aaron took a deep breath. He realized that this trial was not just about strategy, bravery, or morality. It was about foresight and integrity. The choices he made here would shape not only the present but the future of two civilizations. He approached the vision of the Queen with respect. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice firm but sincere. "Every decision must honor both our peoples. We cannot act for power or convenience. We must act with understanding, honesty, and courage. Only then can peace endure and bonds be trusted." The chamber glowed brightly, enveloping him in warm light. The visions dissolved, leaving Aaron in calm, clear space. He felt a quiet strength within him, a recognition that he had faced every challenge with integrity and wisdom. A moment later, the chamber's energy shifted, and he was back in the throne room. Queen Solara stood before him, her expression unreadable. Aaron bowed deeply. "You have done more than I expected," the Queen said, her voice softening. "You have faced illusions of war, disaster, and moral conflict. You have acted with courage, wisdom, and honesty. Most outsiders fail. You have not. Your spirit proves that humanity is capable of understanding and responsibility. You have earned my respect." Aaron straightened, relief and pride filling him. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I do not seek praise. I only wish to act rightly for both our peoples. Respect, understanding, and trust must guide every choice. That is how humans survive, and that is how we can build a bond with your people." Princess Lyra stepped forward, her eyes shining. "You have done more than speak truth. You have shown it through action. Few have this understanding. My mother will recognize not only your courage but your wisdom. This trial was designed to test hearts, not just minds. You have passed." The Queen motioned for Aaron to rise. "You have learned the lessons of the Hall, the Watchers, and the Chamber of Truth. You understand the weight of choice, the importance of integrity, and the responsibility that comes with knowledge. Your refusal of my initial proposal was not defiance, but clarity. You have proven that humanity can act with honesty, respect, and foresight. You are ready for what comes next." Aaron bowed again, humbled. "I am honored, Your Majesty. I hope to continue to learn and act with the same care and understanding. The bond between our peoples is precious, and I will do everything in my power to honor it." The Queen's gaze softened, and a faint smile touched her lips. "This is only the beginning. Knowledge and responsibility are gifts, but they come with expectation. You have proven yourself worthy of both. Remember this, human, courage without understanding is fleeting. Wisdom without action is meaningless. True strength lies in the balance, and you have found it." Aaron felt a sense of quiet determination. The trial had tested him in ways he could never have imagined. He had faced visions that challenged his mind, heart, and spirit. He had made choices that affected more than himself. And he had learned that the foundation of trust, respect, and alliance was honesty, courage, and wisdom combined. Princess Lyra took his hand gently. You have done more than survive. You have shown what humanity can be. Perhaps this is the moment when two worlds begin to truly understand each other. Aaron nodded, his resolve steady. He knew that challenges would continue, and that the path ahead required constant care. But he also knew that he had proven something greater than strength or bravery. He had proven the spirit of humanity itself. The Queen's throne room seemed brighter now, filled not only with the energy of the Vera but with the promise of a future built on respect, understanding, and choice. Aaron understood that this was a turning point, a moment when the actions of one human could influence the destiny of two worlds. The throne room was silent, the air heavy with expectation. Queen Solara sat on her crystal throne, her silver eyes fixed on Aaron. Princess Lyra stood beside her, her gaze calm and steady, but Aaron could sense a subtle tension. He had faced the Hall of Ancients, the Watchers, and the Chamber of Truth. Each trial had tested his courage, wisdom, and patience. Yet now, he understood that the Queen's final challenge was not about knowledge or skill, it was about choice. The Queen's voice carried clearly through the hall. Aaron, you have shown understanding and integrity. You have acted with courage and foresight. But the greatest test remains. You will be offered the knowledge of the ancients, a power that could change the future of your people and ours. To accept it, you must promise to protect it, to respect it, and to use it wisely. To refuse it is also a choice, one that may have consequences for all. Decide, and speak your reason. Aaron felt the weight of her words settle over him like gravity. Knowledge of the ancients was beyond imagination. It could advance humanity, solve crises, and elevate their understanding of the galaxy. Yet with such knowledge came responsibility and potential danger if it were misused. He looked at Princess Lyra, who nodded slightly, as if giving him encouragement without words. He took a deep breath. Your Majesty, he said slowly, I understand the magnitude of what you offer. I also understand the responsibility that comes with it. Knowledge alone is not enough. It must be guided by wisdom, respect, and the willingness to act rightly. I cannot accept it lightly, nor can I accept it without ensuring it serves the good of both our peoples. The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly. You speak carefully. Some would see hesitation as weakness. Do you doubt your own ability to protect this knowledge? Aaron shook his head. Not doubt, Your Majesty. I recognize that power without guidance is dangerous. I do not wish to hold knowledge merely for advancement. I wish to hold it for understanding and harmony. If I fail in that responsibility, the consequences could be catastrophic. Princess Lyra stepped forward, her voice calm and encouraging. You have faced challenges that others would flee. You have acted with integrity when many would lie or submit. That shows strength greater than any gift or knowledge. The choice before you is not about fear, it is about commitment. Aaron nodded. He closed his eyes for a moment, thinking of his people, of the worlds he represented, and of the potential for cooperation between humans and Vera. He thought of the lessons from the Hall of Ancients, the silent judgment of the Watchers, and the visions of the Chamber of Truth. All of them emphasized responsibility, balance, and foresight. Finally, he spoke. I accept the knowledge, Your Majesty, not for power, but for duty. I promise to protect it, to use it with care, and to honor the responsibility it carries. My people and I will act with respect and understanding, guided by wisdom. I accept this not lightly, but as a commitment to the future of both our worlds. The throne room seemed to hold its breath. Queen Solara studied him closely, weighing every word, every gesture. Then, Slowly, a smile touched her lips. It was not just approval, but recognition, a silent acknowledgement that Aaron had proven himself worthy. "You have chosen wisely," she said. "Many would seize such knowledge for themselves or their people alone. Few would consider the greater responsibility. You honor both your people and mine. The gift of the ancients will be entrusted to you, and through you, the bond between our worlds may grow strong." A faint hum filled the room, and a soft light descended from the ceiling. A pedestal appeared before Aaron, glowing with energy similar to that of the orb in the Hall of Ancients. On it rested a small crystal sphere, pulsing with light and warmth. Aaron approached cautiously, feeling the energy radiating from it. He reached out and touched the sphere. Knowledge flowed into him like a river of light. He saw the history of the ancients, their triumphs, their mistakes, and the lessons they had left behind. He understood technologies, philosophies, and strategies beyond human imagination. Yet alongside this gift, he felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. Every choice he would make now carried far greater consequences. Princess Lyra watched him quietly. "The knowledge is not yours alone," she said softly. "It is a trust. It must be protected and shared wisely. Your actions will shape the future in ways you cannot yet see." Aaron nodded, feeling both awe and humility. "I understand. I will act with care, not only for humanity but for all who are affected. This knowledge is a responsibility, not a reward." The queen rose from her throne, her expression solemn but approving. "You have accepted the greatest challenge, Aaron. You have shown courage, wisdom, and integrity. You have proven that humanity can be trusted with knowledge, not just for advancement, but for understanding. You are ready for the responsibilities that lie ahead." Aaron bowed deeply. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will honor this trust and act with the guidance of wisdom, courage, and respect. I will not falter." The queen gestured toward Princess Lyra. "You have also learned from this human, my daughter. Trust, honesty, and courage are values that cross worlds. The bond between humans and Vera can grow not through obligation, but through understanding and shared purpose. This is a new beginning, not a single decision." Lyra stepped closer to Aaron, her gaze steady. "You have shown that humans are capable of more than we expected. You speak and act with clarity. Perhaps this is the start of a future neither of our peoples could imagine before." Aaron felt a quiet determination. The trials had tested him in every way: mind, heart, and spirit. He had faced illusions, challenges, and visions that measured his integrity and wisdom. Now, with the knowledge of the ancients, he had not only proven himself but had also earned the trust of a civilization far older and wiser than his own. Yet he understood that acceptance was not the end. Knowledge without careful use could harm. Responsibility without guidance could fail. He had chosen the path of duty, and he knew that every decision he made from this point forward would carry immense weight. The queen spoke once more, her voice calm and final. "Aaron, you have passed the trials. You have made your choice, and it is the right one. Through your actions, the bond between our peoples can grow. You will not walk this path alone, but with allies who respect your spirit and share your purpose. Remember always, courage guided by wisdom is true strength." Aaron straightened, feeling the gravity and the promise of her words. "I will remember, Your Majesty. I will act with integrity and respect in every decision. I will honor the trust placed in me." The throne room filled with a soft light, signaling the completion of the trial. The queen returned to her throne, calm and composed, while Princess Lyra smiled faintly, her eyes reflecting hope and admiration. Aaron knew that the trials had been not only about his worth but about demonstrating the possibility of unity, trust, and shared purpose between humans and Vera. As he left the throne room with Princess Lyra, he felt the presence of responsibility settle firmly within him. The choice had been made, the knowledge accepted, and the path forward laid before him. Yet the journey was far from over. This was only the beginning of a new chapter, one that would test not just courage and wisdom, but the ability to act with integrity in a universe filled with challenge and wonder. The suns of the Vera world shone brightly as Aaron walked beside Princess Lyra through the gardens of the palace. The air was alive with color, sound, and energy, yet there was a sense of calm that contrasted with the trials he had faced. He now carried the knowledge of the ancients, a gift that was both powerful and heavy with responsibility. He understood that his actions would influence not just humanity but the future of the Vera as well. Princess Lyra stopped beside a flowing stream of liquid light. She looked at him with a faint smile. "You have done what few could, Aaron. You faced the Hall of Ancients, the Watchers, and the Chamber of Truth. You accepted the greatest responsibility, not for power, but for duty. That shows strength beyond measure." Aaron nodded slowly. "It was never about power. Every choice I made was guided by understanding and respect. The lessons I learned were not for myself alone, but for everyone who will follow this path. I hope I can honor that responsibility every day." Lyra's gaze softened. "You already have. My people will remember your courage and wisdom. They will see that humans are capable of integrity and foresight. Perhaps this is the beginning of a new era, one where our peoples can cooperate and learn from each other." As they walked through the palace gardens, Aaron noticed groups of Vera observing him from a distance. Some were curious, others cautious. He understood their hesitation. Humans were new to their world, and trust could not be given lightly. Yet he also realized that actions spoke louder than words. His behavior, his decisions, and his honesty would shape their perception over time. A soft hum filled the air, and Aaron turned to see the Watchers returning to their stations around the palace. Their presence was a reminder that every choice mattered, even outside the trials. The Watchers did not punish, but they observed, ensuring that respect and understanding guided behavior. Aaron felt a quiet sense of reassurance. He had earned their trust, and now it was his responsibility to uphold it. Princess Lyra led him to a council chamber where humans and Vera representatives had gathered. The room was filled with anticipation, the air vibrating with energy as both species prepared to discuss cooperation and shared goals. Aaron understood that this was the practical test of everything he had learned. Knowledge and wisdom were valuable, but action was the true measure of integrity. He stepped forward, addressing the council. "We are here not to dominate, but to understand. Our peoples are different, yet we share common goals: survival, growth, and the pursuit of knowledge. We have the chance to build trust, to act with respect, and to create a future where both our worlds can thrive." The Vera Council members listened intently, their expressions thoughtful. Some nodded, others remained cautious, but all were attentive. Aaron continued. "The knowledge of the ancients is a gift, but it comes with responsibility. It is not meant for power alone, but for understanding and guidance. Together, we can use this knowledge to benefit both our peoples, to learn from each other, and to solve challenges that neither species could face alone." A Vera elder, tall and shimmering with subtle energy, stepped forward. "Human, your words reflect the lessons we have observed. Many of our people fear the unknown, but you have shown courage, wisdom, and respect. If your actions continue as they have, we will consider this the start of a true alliance." Aaron felt a surge of hope. We will act with care, respect, and integrity. Every choice we make will consider the consequences for both our peoples. Trust is earned through action, and we are ready to prove that we are worthy of it. The council discussions continued, covering trade, technology, and cultural exchange. Aaron listened, guided the conversation, and made suggestions that balanced the interests of both species. He applied the lessons from the Hall of Ancients and the Chamber of Truth, ensuring that every decision reflected foresight, wisdom, and fairness. Hours passed, and by the time the suns began to set, the council reached a preliminary agreement. Human and Veyra representatives would work together on joint projects, sharing knowledge and resources while respecting each species' autonomy. The mood in the chamber shifted from cautious observation to cautious optimism. Outside the council chamber, Aaron and Lyra walked through the gardens again. The air was cooler now, and the sky glowed with the light of the setting suns. Aaron felt a deep sense of accomplishment, yet he also knew the journey was only beginning. Responsibility, he realized, was continuous. Every action, every decision, every moment mattered. You have done more than survive the trials, Lyra said softly. You have shown that humans are capable of understanding, respect, and wisdom. My people will remember this day. They will see that unity is possible, that trust can be earned, and that cooperation can lead to growth beyond imagination. Aaron looked at the vibrant landscape. Floating islands glimmered in the distance, rivers of light shimmered, and creatures moved gracefully through the forests. It is breathtaking, he said. I have learned that true strength is not just courage or knowledge, but the ability to act with integrity, foresight, and respect. That is what will allow our peoples to thrive together. Lyra nodded. And you will remind us of that every day. Actions, not words, define trust. You have proven that humans can act rightly when guided by principle, and that lesson will last far beyond this moment. As night fell, the three moons of the Veyra world rose, casting silver light across the palace gardens. Aaron felt a quiet peace, knowing that the trials had prepared him not just for the queen, but for the real challenges ahead. He had chosen the path of responsibility, accepted the knowledge of the ancients, and demonstrated courage, wisdom, and respect. Now it was time to live those lessons in the real world. Princess Lyra stopped beside him, her hand brushing lightly against his arm. You have begun something extraordinary, Aaron. Our peoples may still face challenges, but you have shown that trust, respect, and understanding are possible. This is only the start of a journey that could change everything. Aaron looked at her, feeling the weight and promise of her words. I understand. Every decision matters. Every action carries consequences. But with patience, honesty, and courage, we can build a future where both our worlds flourish. I will honor this responsibility every day. The next morning, the palace was alive with activity. Humans and Veyra worked together to share knowledge, plan projects, and explore ways to strengthen their bond. Aaron moved among them, guiding, listening, and learning. He felt a deep connection to this world, not as a conqueror, but as a partner, a messenger of understanding and cooperation. Queen Solara observed him from her throne, her expression calm but approving. She had tested him, challenged him, and finally entrusted him with knowledge and responsibility. Aaron had proven himself worthy. The choice he had made, guided by integrity and foresight, would shape the future for both humans and Veyra. As he stood in the gardens that evening, looking at the glowing rivers and floating islands, Aaron felt a quiet determination. The trials were over, but the journey had just begun. He knew that challenges would continue, that decisions would have consequences, and that responsibility was a constant companion. Yet he also knew that courage guided by wisdom, honesty, and respect could create bonds stronger than any fear or doubt. The suns set, the moons rose, and a new chapter began. Humanity had earned a place among the stars, not through conquest or ambition, but through choice, understanding, and integrity. Aaron smiled, knowing that the future was not certain, but it was full of possibility, hope, and promise. For the first time, humans and Vera walked a path together, guided by trust, respect, and shared purpose. And Aaron, who had faced trials beyond imagination, understood that the greatest victories were not those of power, but those of the heart, the mind, and the spirit.